Today I'll be breaking down what Americans rated as the most annoying things on the plane, as well as sharing some unwritten rules of flying to help you avoid being that passenger the next time you fly. A new study by Morning Consult ranked the top 12 passenger behaviors that annoy travelers the most on a flight. Let's kick things off with the annoying passenger behavior that's taking the number 12 spot on our list. Putting non-carry-on items in the overhead compartment, which annoyed 42% of the 2,000 Americans that were surveyed, as they considered it to be somewhat or extremely bothersome. Overhead bin space is limited, and it's meant for larger carry-on items like suitcases and roller bags. When passengers place smaller items, like purses or jackets, into this overhead bin, it takes up space that other passengers need for their bigger bags. A key reason why so many of us end up having to check in or carry on suitcases at the boarding gate is because the passengers that got on the plane before us are putting things up there that don't belong. You can avoid ticking anyone else off by keeping this overhead bin for larger carry-on bags only. Smaller items like backpacks, jackets, and purses should always go underneath the seat in front of you. If you are concerned about legroom, you can take your bag from under the seat in front of you and instead slide it back behind your knees once the plane reaches cruising altitude. This is an easy hack for a more comfortable flight that does not have you hogging any overhead bin space. Next up at number 11 is asking someone to switch seats, which is a request that 53% of passengers found to be annoying. Many passengers carefully choose their seats in advance for a reason, whether it's for a window view, an aisle seat with easy access to the bathroom, or to sit near family members. Nobody likes to feel pressured to give up a seat that they selected or to board the plane to find someone else sitting in their seat uninvited. Stick to your assigned seat on your ticket, including both the row and the corresponding seat letter. If you are picky about your seat, consider paying upfront when booking your flight ticket to select a seat. In many cases, you can also select your seat for free on a first-come, first-served basis during the 24-hour check-in window. Let us know down in the comments if you book your seat on the plane in advance or if you let the airline randomly select it for you. I personally set a calendar reminder to check in for my flight as soon as the 24-hour check-in window opens, so I get first pick of the available seats. Some airlines have now added fees to pick your seat during the check-in window, and some, like Air Canada, have even created a ton of confusion by adding fees to pick your seat and then removing the fees because it made passengers so upset. Classic Air Canada move. Always check with the airline that you are flying with, and then also don't forget to hit that subscribe button to join us back here for more travel tips and hacks every single week. It's a free way to support the channel, and it means that you'll never miss out on a tip. Coming in at number 10, we have crying babies and misbehaving children, an annoyance for 59% of surveyed passengers. I'm not a parent, so I'm certainly not qualified to speak on this, but apparently flying can be a tough experience for young kids, which means that it can also be a tough experience for the parents. While I hope most people understand this, the constant noise or disruptions can still be annoying, which is completely understandable. If you are traveling with kids, it's good to know that many airlines offer support on their websites by offering tips and information about what's going to be available to help you during the flight. United Airlines, for example, has a children's travel kit available for free on board, which includes a puzzle, a coloring book, and even a sensory calming strip to help keep kids occupied. And for everyone else that is not traveling with kids, a little patience and a good pair of noise-canceling headphones can go a long way. Number 9 on our list of annoying passenger behaviors is reclining seats on short flights, which annoyed 62% of passengers surveyed. Apparently, on shorter flights, it is more courteous to keep your seat upright. If that's the case, then I've likely annoyed hundreds of other passengers, since I will recline my seat regardless of the flight length, but I will make sure that I'm only doing it at appropriate times, such as never reclining during a mealtime. If you are going to recline, please avoid doing so when the person behind you is eating off of the tray table. And at other times, be mindful to recline slowly and check behind you before leaning back. Many passengers will use their tray tables to hold drinks, so if you do suddenly recline, it might lead to a spill. Taking the number 8 spot, annoying 62% of passengers, is eating smelly foods during the flight. Smells can be especially intolerable when you're already cramped, possibly overheating, and even maybe feeling a little bit of motion sickness. That makes a ton of sense. I think we can all agree that the plane is not the place for a tuna sandwich. Coming in at number 7, blocking the aisle while boarding is a big pet peeve, annoying 66% of the passengers that were included in the survey. It's all too common to see someone stop in the aisle to rearrange bags or to dig through their carry-on, which ends up holding everyone else up as they're trying to board a flight. You can help keep the line moving smoothly by quickly stowing your carry-on suitcase in the overhead bin and then save any organizing of your personal item bag until after you've settled into your seat. You won't have easy access to a zipped-up carry-on suitcase that's been placed in the overhead bin during the flight, so if there is something that you want to have handy from your carry-on, like a book, headphones, or a snack, be sure to transfer it into your personal item before you get on the plane. Number 6 on the list of the most annoying passenger behaviors is trying to exit the plane before it's your row's turn, which annoys 67% of passengers. Do not be that person from a few rows back who rushes to the front of the plane as soon as the seatbelt sign turns off. The unspoken rule here is simple. Let the rows in front of you exit the plane first. Deplaning typically goes row by row from front to back. If you're worried about a tight connection, let a flight attendant know ahead of time, as they can often help you get off the plane quickly without disrupting everyone else. Although the other passengers on the plane probably still won't be too happy about it. Being visibly intoxicated unsurprisingly annoys 70% of passengers and takes the number 5 spot on the list of most annoying plane behaviors. Being noticeably drunk on a plane is not a good look, and it can make others feel uncomfortable or even lead to you becoming unintentionally disruptive. You may consider yourself to be someone that would never get too drunk on a plane, but did you know that alcohol in the air hits you harder than it does on the ground? I'm a lightweight in general when it comes to alcohol, but on a flight it's taken to a whole new level. I swear, a couple sips of wine and I'm feeling it. This is because lower oxygen levels in the cabin amplify the effect of alcohol, meaning that even a small drink can make you feel more intoxicated at altitude than you would on the ground. So if you do decide to drink on a flight, definitely pace yourself and consider drinking water in between drinks. Don't make the mistake of assuming that your tolerance on the ground is going to apply when you're up in the air, because it doesn't. At number 4 on the list, listening to audio without headphones is an annoyance for 73% of passengers. I'm actually quite surprised that this one doesn't annoy 100% of passengers. Whether it's music, a podcast, or a video, playing sound out loud from your device in a confined space is going to annoy those around you. If you do want to listen to something, bring a pair of headphones and use them. This applies to any phone calls prior to takeoff as well. No one wants to sit beside a passenger with a FaceTime video call on speaker. This chart from the survey was quite interesting to see as well, as there's a clear trend where older adults are more annoyed by pretty much everything in comparison to younger adults. And you can see here, by this purple dot closest to the right, that the most annoying thing for baby boomers is people around them showing signs of sickness. While it ranks as the top annoyance for seniors, comes in as the overall number 3 most annoying passenger behavior, annoying 75% of adults surveyed. If you aren't feeling your best, consider wearing a mask, coughing into your sleeve, keeping your distance as much as possible, and having plenty of hand sanitizer on hand. I once had a long flight from Canada to Brazil at the same time that I was battling a lingering cough from a cold that I had had months ago. I let the gate agent know ahead of time to see if there was somewhere on the plane that they could put me where I would be away from other passengers. It ended up being a win-win situation as other passengers didn't have me coughing on them, and I ended up with a row of seats to myself. If you're not feeling well, it's definitely worth a try to ask, since this ends up being a win-win. You'll have more space to yourself, and the other passengers can relax without having to worry about catching something from you. At number 2 on the list, we have displaying unhygienic behaviors, which annoys 74% of passengers, but is still rated to be more bothersome than visible signs of sickness that annoyed 75% of passengers. This is because while 75% of people found showing signs of sickness to be annoying, only 46% of those considered it to be highly bothersome. In contrast, a full 50% of passengers found unhygienic behaviors, like taking your shoes off or clipping your nails, to be extremely bothersome. Airplane cabins are tight, shared spaces, so what might be comfortable for one person can be pretty unpleasant for others. So please save any personal grooming for before or after the flight, and at the very least, if you must take your shoes off, please keep your socks on. And the number one most annoying passenger behavior is taking up too much space, which a massive 76% of passengers found to be bothersome. Whether it's sprawling into someone else's legroom, hogging both of the armrests, or extending elbows and knees into shared spaces, personal space violations need to be avoided on the plane as best as possible. If you are in the middle seat, the good news is that you are entitled to both armrests. And unless you're traveling with someone who doesn't mind sharing, it's best to keep those armrests down to clearly define your space. Keep your feet, arms, hair, and any personal items, like your personal item bag below the seat in front of you, within your own leg space, and avoid extending things like your legs or your elbows into the aisle. Not only can doing this trip up other passengers, but you might also get a painful nudge from the beverage cart. If you are seated in the aisle and someone in your row needs to get up, please stand up fully to let them pass. Don't make anyone climb over you. Getting up during a flight is also good for circulation, so think of it as them doing you a favor. There are unwritten rules that flight attendants and gate agents wish every passenger knew and followed before they even got on board the flight. Check out the video linked in the description and on the screen now. It covers the top annoying behaviors at the airport as you're getting ready to board a flight, and it shows you how to avoid embarrassing and unintentionally disruptive behaviors. Hit that subscribe button to join us back here for more travel tips and hacks each week, and then also let us know what you found on this list to personally be the most annoying to you. I'm going to go with clipping your nails on a plane, which I have seen happen and unfortunately cannot unsee. Safe travels, and I'll catch you in that next video soon. Bye.